The Switch 2 release of Breath of the Wild gives new life to this timeless game. Whether you played 8 years ago or just started today, I put together my favorite 50 useful gameplay tips to get the upper hand. Or maybe just to appreciate the game's depth again. Obviously, fire attacks insta-kill ice enemies and vice versa. But also remember, cold water kills fire enemies and hot water kills ice enemies. If you're ever near a patch of lava, throwing updraft materials into the lava directly makes the updraft without waiting for it to burn, handy for getting over patches of lava. There's a bunch of ways to conduct electricity with shock arrows. You could shoot water directly, wet enemies, or you can use stasis choo-choo jellies of any element, a frozen then stasis enemy, or a freshly killed critter that's frozen then shot with shock arrows. A better way of chasing down horses is to use a weak bow, then freeze or shock them, then mash A to catch them as soon as they're free. Don't feel bad, they're fine. Blizzard rods are great for knocking any materials off of trees and cliffs. You can also use Rivali's Gale, then cancel it with B to leaf blow materials off of high places. You can stasis trees mid-fall and use them as cover to light fires. Large tropical tree leaves also count as cover to keep you dry and start fires as well. There's a bunch of Guardian-related gear in the game that give damage boosts, but remember that there are a couple pieces of equipment that actually boost ancient weapon damage that aren't explicitly listed, which are the Ruby, Sapphire, and Topaz earrings. They boost damage by 20%. If you're in Death Mountain without any flame-proof gear or potions, just break open a choo-choo jelly. It will give you 30 seconds of heat protection. This also works in the hot Gerudo Desert. Flint can light fires, but ore deposits also do the same thing, and can light fires when struck with metal. Holding R while shield surfing makes you turn sharply, which is handy for getting around obstacles quickly. You can sometimes finagle a weapon from between a sleeping Stalnox's ribs. If you're having trouble, motion controls can make this a bit easier. You don't need to press A to mount a horse or a bike. You can just jump on. If you're ever in a situation where you have to jump into mud, make sure you slowly paraglide onto it, or else you'll immediately sink. And if you aim below your feet with D-pad down, you can use Cryonis to lift yourself out of the mud while sinking. If you screw up a stasis object's angle or power, use a Master Sword beam to reset the momentum to 0 and start over, or to stop an incoming projectile in its tracks. Incoming fireball attacks can be beaten with any ice attacks. Remember that metal shields deflect fire, but are disarmed by shock attacks. But also vice versa, wooden shields absorb shock attacks, but are burned out by fire attacks. If you want to search for loot passively, take a picture of a nearby chest, then use the Sheikah sensor to give you a heads up when one is nearby. Bullet time is one of the most useful basic techniques to take control of any fight and don't always require fancy glitches to achieve. Just look at the terrain around you and take advantage of it. Small ledges, jumping off hillsides, and even jumping on and off any climbable wall by pressing down and jump from the wall works as well. You can block or shield jump any BMOS laser. You can jump on most archer towers directly from a horse. Sheikah tower platforms have an unlisted buff to bows. Any normal bow gets the zoom function to snipe for longer range shooting. ZL zooms out while you're climbing to get you a better view. Both Hinox and Stalnox are weak to bomb arrows. Stalnox fall apart instantly, and Hinox are stunned for several seconds longer than other arrows. You can fake out a Molduga by sneaking away after being noticed. Drop a bomb, then crouch jump away to bamboozle them. A Choo-Choo's weak spot are its eyeballs. Any keys die from just being parried. If you see a pesky key swarm, use Stasis Plus to scare most of them off. You can destroy Pebblets by simply lifting them, then dropping them. Use multi-shot bows with shock arrows to flush out hiding Octoroks. The safest place against Moblins are at point blank. Their arms are too lanky at that range to hit you. Just watch out for their kick. Lizalfo's weak spots are right beneath their chin. This can net you some free hits. One of the safest places to be when fighting a Lynel is hanging out right beneath it. When a Hinox swings at you with a tree, you can duck under it. Boomerangs always return veering left, but if you ever wanted to change that direction, side hop to the right to make it return to the right side. Talus with weak points on their backside can be hit with the boomerang. If you're really having trouble against Guardians, Magnesis, then drop any item. They completely lose sight of you, and whistling can also freeze them in their tracks, setting you up for a clean headshot. You can take out a Guardian with an Ancient Arrow to the eye, but this also does the same with the secondary weak spot on the motor underneath. Ancient bows have a secret unset property of piercing straight through shields. When you're completely out of stamina and falling, there's actually one last emergency paraglider pull you have before you're out of luck. You can always use a stable to bring back your own horse, but if you ever wanted to tow another horse behind you, whistle before riding a separate horse lets you tow your previous horse. Remember that almost every horse in the game is tameable with one stamina wheel. It's just a matter of how quickly you mash the soothe button. There's no threshold to how fast you can press it. You can hard brake and turn on horseback by pressing down an A, then turning in the direction you'd like to pivot to. At a standstill, you can also pivot even faster by scoping with R3 in the direction you'd like to face. You can toss items by pressing A while holding the item, but pushing down on the D-pad throws them farther, or if you Magnesis then hold an item, it quickly drops it right at your feet. One of the most useful tricks in the game is called leaf bombing. Swing a Korok leaf, jump, then drop a bomb mid-jump. This will roll a remote bomb along the ground and can be used for a variety of situations. If you ever wanted a free sniper zoom for your regular bow, pull out a camera, zoom all the way in, press X to selfie, ZL to go to the bow pose, then R3 to scope in. You'll be able to fire your equipped bow while zoomed in like this to see far targets better. When you're in a dark area, you can use Urbosa's Fury as a sonar ping to scout ahead, or just hold Magnesis or Stasis, and if you happen to have them, holding 5 star fragments is just as bright as a lit torch. If you ever wanted to steal the Master Sword, make sure you have an empty weapon slot, then light a fire next to the pedestal, look up, rest, then mash A while waking up. Bam, easy peasy. There you go, 50 tips to get you back on your feet in Breath of the Wild. Let us know how you're enjoying the Switch 2 version, and for everything else gaming, keep it here on GameSpot.